Hello, and in this macOS development tutorial, we're going to build on what we looked at in the previous video by looking at how we can use core animation, which is Apple's animation library, to animate one property of a layer between multiple different states, more than two. In the last video, we looked at how to animate a colour from one state to another state, so from one colour to another colour. In this video we're going to look at how to, and by doing that it uses interpolation, so it figures out what frames am I going to need to animate between to get from that base colour to another colour. But in this case we're going to look at another subclass of core animation, keyframe animation, to see, okay, how can we define the frames ourselves and define the amount of time each animation takes, so it's not just from a transition from one state to another state. Well, that's what we're going to look at in this video. I'm going to go over the core animation concepts briefly, but we're going to start from working animation. So if you've not seen any videos on core animation, feel free to check out my previous video before watching this one. Anyway, here I have the code that we basically looked at last time. We set up a layer, which is what we draw on, make it the same size as the view, and then when the code wakes up, we add an animation called the soft change animation. We do that down here. We make it the transition for the background color, and we set that it needs to go from a blue color to a yellow color. By the way, this probably, when you first wakes up, isn't the best place to put a animation, but I just did it here just for quickness. If we run that, what we see is that our view doesn't need to change from blue to yellow over the 10-second transition, but it decides how to get from blue to yellow in that time. We don't have the option to intervene and choose more than one colour. Well, what we can do with that is have a keyframe animation, and that's just another subclass. Like this is a CA basic animation. Well, core animation takes any subclass of CA animation, of which CA keyframe animation is also one. If we change this animation to be a CA keyframe animation, we're well on our way to doing that, but we notice if we run this, we'll get errors because we're this is meant to transition between multiple frames that we define ourselves. There's no from value and to value. You still set the duration in the same way, and because it's just a subclass, you still add it in the same way for the same property, but the way you define the frame is different. So I'm just going to copy some code in. The property that we set on the animation itself is the values property, and that's an array of values that the in this case background color is capable of taking. So in this case it's an array of colors. So we just transition between orange and black 10 times and add that transition to our user interface when it loads. Obviously, we saw last time that whenever your animation is finished, to make that persistent, you need to set the background color itself, not just in the animation, but as an actual property itself. So, because black is the last frame, we need to set this black. And there is a key times property that you can specify, and that will tell you in numbers how the proportion of the total time that you want each frame to be up for. By default, it's just going to say equally distribute all the frames within that 10 seconds. So now if I rerun that, I'm going to get an error because there isn't a comma there in my array. So this is just an array of whatever property you're animating. So I'm going to restart that. And as soon as our view loads, you can see we transition between orange and black. So that's a simple example of a keyframe animation, something that's essentially continuous and transitions between multiple values, but of one property. So this was a very short video, but I'd covered the ground in the other video, so I just wanted to quickly show you this. In future videos, we're going to talk about physics-based animation and how to do multiple animations itself, and also give examples of how to do other animation other than just colour. So thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.